Welcome to my workshop. When I built this mobile camera mount, the most interesting thing I learned is that the same idea or concept can be executed in so many different ways if different people do it. As far as I'm aware, the whole idea of building this sort of camera mount, like a single pole with an extension arm and a heavy base, goes back to Jeremy Schmidt. That's where I first came across this idea, and to him I give all the credit for all this design. So I looked at his solution and I looked at Jay Bates' solution, and I found different other people's solutions as well, but basically everybody did it a little bit different, and so did I. First of all, I don't really like working with concrete, so I thought that there might be a different solution than using concrete, and to be sure I found that I had this concrete slab lying around and that it was just as usable for that, and so I used this instead of pouring my own concrete. The next step was, of course, to find a solution of how to fix the pole to the slab, and I did this with these stacked Douglas fir scraps that I had lying around, into which I drilled a 50mm hole and used large screws through the base to attach the whole thing to the concrete slab. This seems to be working very well. Another thing that is different in each design is how this clamping mechanism works, and I thought that this idea here was probably working best for me. I cut open this piece so that I could use it as a clamp, basically, so when I untighten this screw, the whole thing is loose enough that I can push it up and down, and when I tighten it, the plywood is elastic enough so that it bends inward and exerts pressure on these two sides here, and this is stable enough so that it doesn't move. I also like these star knobs here because they are easy to adjust. I used them in some places, and I used the wing nuts that I already had in other places, because you don't always need to open and close all of the screws, and I usually just open and close the ones with the star knobs. What I found is that this arm here is a bit long, and the reason for that is that I used these two pieces from my old extension arm that was only a single piece, so that stopped here, and I didn't want to cut them open and do them all over again, so I thought I'd try it with this length, even though it might be a little long. But if it turns out that it's actually too long, I will just cut them and do these ones in a shorter version, just like those. But overall it seems to be working quite alright. It's creaking for sure, but that's not much of a problem. I just show you how the different positions can work out. What I wanted is that the camera can be very close to the pole and at about the height of the clamp, and when I put the camera in here it's about this height, so it's basically just a single pole that doesn't occupy much room in my very small workshop. But if I pull it out, I can adjust it to a very considerable amount here. I think this must be about 1 meter and 20 centimeters. So this really reaches out, and if I tighten those screws, then it holds the camera just alright, and it doesn't tilt either. If you can see that the heavy base does the work of pulling it back all the time again, so I really can trust it with my camera. And if it does fail, it usually doesn't fail catastrophically in one go, but it just lowers itself a little bit, so you know you have to tighten the screws a little. Overall, I'm very pleased with this design. It will make working and filming in my workshop a lot easier, because the tripod feet reaching out were always in the way, which is of course the reason why all of those woodworkers doing YouTube videos have built this, and that's the reason why I built it. So time will tell how practical it is, but the few attempts that I've made at using it have already shown that it's quite useful, and I'm looking forward to using it in the future. So thanks a lot for watching. If you liked the video, I'd appreciate if you give it a thumbs up, if you share it with your friends, leave a comment perhaps, and if it's your first time here and you like what I do, if you subscribe to my channel. I hope to see you back for the next step on the woodworking journey. So bye bye, take care.